Well guys, days like today make me feel very happy that I've never taken one sponsorship dollar in the history of this channel because I can speak freely about whatever I want to speak freely about. And today we're going to talk about the Robinhood app. And I want to just explain why I personally do not use the Robinhood app as my brokerage account, okay? I want to kind of explain that today. I have nothing against Robinhood app. I think they've reached out to me several times to try to do sponsorship videos and things like that. I'm not interested in doing that for them or for anybody in general. I'm blessed enough that I make enough off YouTube and course sales and just have enough money in my stock market accounts and whatnot that I don't need to worry about sponsorship dollars. But I want to give you guys kind of the truth on why Robinhood app might be something that is for you and why it might be something that's actually going to cost you a lot more money than you realize. I just want to give you kind of my honest perspective on this. Now, in terms of the good with Robinhood, I think Robinhood is phenomenal for a couple reasons, okay? One is you do commission-free stock trades, which is like amazing, okay? Especially if you have small amounts of money, which most people, when you get involved with the stock market and you start buying stocks, you have small amounts of money. I remember there were days when I was starting the stock market where I had a few $100s to invest at a time, or maybe like $1,000 to invest at a time. And basically, when I first started investing, a commission to buy or sell a stock, regardless if it was one share or 1,000 shares, it was $19.95. And when you're investing a few $100s at a time, or maybe $500 or $1,000, $20 to sell your shares and $20 to buy shares is absolutely ridiculous, okay? It made it to the point where I even contemplated if I even wanted to invest in the stock market when I was starting, because it was like the commissions were just so expensive that I was like, maybe investing in the stock market is not even worth it. But lucky enough, very shortly after, they lowered it down to $9.95, and nowadays I think it's about $4.95. And I think honestly, the reason why these brokerages have lowered it over time is honestly a lot of the reason is probably because of Robinhood in the end, okay? So Robinhood is definitely phenomenal if you have smaller amounts of money, because that $20 commission will eat you alive if you're investing a few $100s at a time. It's the bottom line. If you're investing thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, like a $5 commission's like doesn't even matter. Like it's like a can of soda to you, right? But if you're investing $200 at a time, a $20 commission or even a $5 commission is like all the money in the world. Also, commission-free options trades, which is like amazing as well. It's a lot of brokerages actually charge more money for options trades than they actually do for buying stocks, okay? So if you're investing smaller amounts of money, for the most part, Robinhood is going to be a phenomenal service for you. However, for me personally, there are three very specific reasons I want to get into now why Robinhood is honestly not the brokerage for me. Alrighty guys, reason number one is basically I've had money clearing issues with Robinhood. So I set up a Robinhood account and whatnot, and I just wanted to see like how long it would take to process money when I deposit it in or even pull money out of a Robinhood account. And what I found is I did it with just like $5,000. So I just was like, I just want to do this as a test. So I put $5,000 into the Robinhood app. I connected my bank accounts and whatnot, put $5,000 in, and basically that money to clear for me to be able to invest that money, it took like at least 4 business days for that money to clear where I could finally invest that money, that $5,000, okay? Now, the main issue with this is a lot of times I don't have that type of time to wait to invest in a stock. As you guys know, the stock market is very volatile. You'll see a stock move up or down, 5%, 10%, sometimes 20% on earnings day. And basically, the situation where this comes into big trouble is, let's say there was a stock that dropped big, okay? Let's say there was a stock that dropped big and I want to go ahead and buy that stock right now, because let's say it's made a ridiculous move down. I'm like, that is insane. That's trading at that valuation. I need to get in this now. So I go ahead and try to deposit money. If I have to wait to invest that money, that could mean a lot of lost money, okay? For instance, Apple's a perfect situation, okay? Apple in the very beginning of January comes out. They say, oh, we're not going to hit the numbers we were supposed to hit. Guidance was a little weak. Apple stock drops in a very fast fashion to like $145 a share, okay? I go ahead and I go into my Fidelity account. I put $5,000 in that account. Immediately, that money is available. Now, I'm not sure if that's available to anybody, or maybe because I've been with them for like 10 plus years, or maybe because I have accounts of a certain size. It doesn't matter what amount of money I, basically say I'm going to put in there. They let me invest that money right away. It could be $5,000, $20,000. It really doesn't matter, okay? So Apple goes down in that very short amount of time. I go ahead and I buy that $5,000 worth of Apple stock, and Apple stock ever since then has gone up dramatically, okay? If I had to wait wait, that would have ended up costing me hundreds of dollars. Now let's even compound that. Let's say it was $50,000 I had bought with Apple instead of $5,000. Now we're talking about that basically time could have cost me thousands of dollars, okay? This is why Robinhood is not, one of the reasons why Robinhood is not the brokerage for me specifically, because time is money, and if a stock drops big and I want to get in that stock because I'm afraid it might go up very fast, which, sometimes that happens with stocks, if I have to wait for that, it's just going to cost me a lot of money. I don't have, 3 to 5 business days until I can finally invest that money, okay? And by the way, they let me do that whether it's my margin account or whether it's my regular brokerage. It doesn't matter. If I put, if I put $10,000, I'm able to invest that $10,000 right away, like literally within seconds, even if the money hasn't cleared yet. Robinhood, I just don't have that ability, okay? That's reason number 1. Let's get into number 2. Alrighty guys, reason number 2, the Robinhood app, if I believe, comes out in around 2013, okay? 2013, so it's been out on the market for, about 6 years, let's say, okay? But what does this essentially mean? This means Robinhood is kind of like a financial institution that, holds tons of money, of people's money out there, okay? Whether it be in stocks or just in brokerage accounts in general or things like that, right? They hold all this money. They're basically kind of like a financial institution. But they've never ever been through a recession. This is a financial institution that has not shown they can get through a recession. Maybe they can, and maybe it's going to be no issue. Next time we have a recession, people are going to sell off their index funds, they're going to sell off stocks like crazy. It's going to be the same thing that happens in all recessions, okay? People are going to panic, they're going to sell index funds, they're going to sell stocks, either because they're panicking, because they're scared it's going to go down even more, or because they lose jobs, and they might just need that money, okay? They might just need that money to actually pay bills and have a roof over their head and pay for their car and things like that, okay? So Robinhood app hasn't shown yet, because it hasn't been around long enough, that they can go through a recession and deal with all that money, outflow basically in a very short amount of time. Well, we've got to kind of see, in my personal opinion, I can't have a ton of money tied up in a financial institution that has not even been through a recession yet, okay? So who knows, it might not be an issue at all for them, but we've got to have some proof in the pudding before we can kind of say, yeah, I can hold, 6 figures or 7 figures or whatever in a Robinhood account when they haven't even been through a recession yet, because this app basically has just been around in good times and only in times of growth and kind of a lot of money inflowing. What happens when all of a sudden people are panicking, selling all their shares, and they need their money out ASAP? Does Robinhood systems have issues with that? Do they have money problems? Anything like that? That is very important, okay, in my personal opinion. That's reason number 2. Let's get into number 3. Reason number 3 why the Robinhood app is not the app for me is they had that 3% checking and savings account debacle recently, okay? They basically came out there like, oh yeah, we're going to give you 3% on your money, just have it in your savings account. And then it was like, oh, this isn't even FDIC insured and things like that. People got really scared, and then all of a sudden Robinhood just shuts down the whole thing. I'm not a big fan of a financial institution or somebody that's going to hold a ton of my money that makes rash decisions like this without even thinking it through, okay? Oh yeah, we're going to have a 3% checking and savings account. This makes press everywhere. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, a week later, no, we're not going to do that, okay? I remember I applied for it. I was supposed to get the savings account card or whatever it is, the checking account card that was with, I believe, a Visa or MasterCard or whatever. They never ended up sending that. They ended up just shutting the whole thing down. A financial institution that makes rash decisions like that is a little scary to me personally, especially if they're going to be holding most of my wealth, which most of my wealth is tied up into the stock market. I'm not sure I quite want a financial institution that's going to be making these type of decisions. Oh yeah, we're going to have a 3% checking and savings account. Oh, it's not FDIC insured after all. No, we're not going to do it. Like those type of haste decisions that haven't even been thought through. That's a little scary from a financial institution, someone that's going to be holding most of your wealth. So for those 3 reasons, Robinhood app is not the app for me personally. However, like I spoke about, if you have smaller amounts of money, it might be the app for you, okay? If you're investing a few $100 at a time, it might be the app for you, because it might just not be worth, paying that $5 commission every time you go to buy and sell shares and things like that, guys. So it all depends on your situation, but overall, if you have a lot of money, if you have, let's say you have, at least $10,000 or $100,000 plus dollars, I'm not sure Robinhood app is the one for you. You just got to kind of think this stuff through. Maybe someone else that's been proven for a long time might make more sense to you. Also, one thing I never even talked about was obviously customer service. Robinhood customer service, it's not like Fidelity Investments, for instance. I can call them up at like 1 in the morning. I've done it in the past and talked about, hey, how's this option trade work or whatnot, or if I needed something explained, whether it be an account or a strategy or something like that. Like I've called them them up in the middle of the night years and years ago to speak to them. Like, that's the type of customer service you get there. Robinhood, I don't think there's a line you can just call in and ask them questions and stuff like that. So it depends on the situation for you. Each person is different. Maybe Robinhood app is great for you, or maybe it's just not the one, guys. So I just want to give my opinion out there. I'm happy I'm able to give my opinion and say kind of what I want about these different services and whatnot. I hope you guys got a lot of value out of this, because I get this question a ton. Hey, is Robinhood app the one? Hey, TD Ameritrade. Hey, Fidelity. Hey, E-Trade. What should I use for my brokerage and whatnot? This is kind of my opinion about Robinhood versus some others, guys. So hope you enjoyed this. As always, hit a thumbs up if you did. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.